Hello, welcome back to another episode of We'll Have a Look podcast. Joined once again by Clubs. Joe, how you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm fantastic. And Ben Bowman, who's just smashed 3 battered sausages.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time. We'll have a look.
Well, of course we'll have a look. That's not true. He hasn't done that.
No, I haven't done
what
that.
mad person can eat 3 battered sausages?
I reckon I could.
Yeah, so can I.
I reckon I could.
Yeah, it's just should.
Yeah.
Thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And should Amorim be still in a job?
Nice.
And
Good segue.
And could, I've done this before, Joe, could he last till Christmas?
No.
A mate of mine said, it's well funny, isn't it? Like, they just keep getting beat and he's just not there. And what if they take him down and Amorim stays in a job? That is like the best case scenario for Manchester United, isn't it? They go down and they just don't sack Amorim.
Yeah. Maybe it's going to click one day. What will happen is first day of the championship next season, they'll lose at home to, I don't know, like Southampton, and it'll be like the Arsenal game on the opening day of this season where it's like, well, they played well though, didn't they? They were a bit unlucky. Like, you can kind of see the system sort of coming together. It's like, yeah, but they've just been beat again.
Still playing 5 at the back in the championship at home.
Still not playing Kobe Mainoo's still on the bench in the championship.
I look, so I was buying into that. I was looking at some of the numbers and the stats behind their performances. And I was asked a great question this week, was when the performances matter, or when should performances be considered over a result? And it's generally if you're looking for the underlying performance and not that aren't resulting in 3 points each week. But the narrative I heard from Man United fans was that we were actually playing well, just the results ain't coming. And I'm like, I get it, and not enough to bring in any Man United teams into my club team. and players into my club team. Like, I don't know if you've had any, Joe, this season, but it doesn't matter if they're performing better than last season. This is so far beyond the level of expectation and acceptance that how he hasn't been fired is just beyond me. How?
Unfortunately, to answer your question, I have actually got one Manchester United player.
Who?
Bruno Fernandes, who scored a whopping -5 points in my team at the weekend for his penalty miss and his yellow card and his.
What is that points deduction for a penalty miss? Is it -5?
Yeah, I think it might be more for that, but he got a couple of points for just being consistently like dribbles up, like passes, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, big -5 points to my total in another loss for my club team. Ever since I came onto this podcast and bragged about how well I was doing, and you two. And you told me to shut up. I've gone back. I've gone back-to-back losses in clubs, so that's always great, isn't it? But yeah, Bruno Fernandes. I was checking the stats, quickly becoming the most rejected star player, so 86 rated and above, and that's obvious, right? Because of how Amorim is playing him in a midfield 2, in a sort of holding, but then he's also expected to go up. I mean, the system in general for Manchester United is no one knows where they should be because they're probably not going to be there in the next 10 minutes. Like if you come on like sort of right attacking midfield, you know you're probably going to be playing left wing back in 10 minutes because of how he does his thing. Like, I don't know how he's still in a job. It's
crazy.
I've heard that they might be waiting till November or something because it's cheaper to sack him or something like that. So it might be their case, but if it sounds like in interviews that he's confident that he is getting back. It's like, and I don't know where this confidence is coming from because the performances are so bad.
I mean, he doesn't care, does he? He signed a 5-year deal. He'll go, yeah, I'm backing me. All he's got to do is say the right thing so he gets the payoff. So if he resigns, then he gets no money. So he's just waiting to be sacked, I think. It can be the only... I'm just trying to wrap my head around how the fact that he's still in a job. Because he is hands down the worst Man United manager there has ever been, I think. Statistically the worst, certainly in the Premier League era.
Well, did you see all the stats on Monday Night Football last night?
I was watching because Spurs had a sort of middling performance, so that means I can't watch any football on the
weekend. I'm with you on that.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. To be fair, I didn't watch it. I just saw all the numbers kind of going around on Twitter, and it was like, I think he's got less points from his Oh no, he's basically got the same points from his first 33 games as Steve Keane did at Blackburn.
I haven't thought about Steve Keane since he left Blackburn. I don't think
some of them are really, really bad. Like in terms of, I think it was points in his first 33 games compared to the last 6 permanent Man United managers. Van Gaal had 65, Mourinho had 64, Ten Hag had 63. I think Moyes was like, bear in mind, Moyes got sacked before the end of his first season, was like 58 maybe. Solskjaer was just around the same, and then Ruben Amorim is on 33. So he's basically doing half the job that Van Gaal did in his first 33 games.
Do you think, and this is a genuine question, do you think he's the worst manager in the Premier League right now? Now that Graham Potter's gone, like, is he worse than Farke?
Pound for pound, yeah, it has to be. Like everyone was like, Daniel Farke is going to be the first manager to be sacked and all this kind of stuff. But it's like you've got to look at what he's working with compared to what Amorim's got. And Daniel Farke has actually done quite a decent job. Leeds have looked okay. Like they have actually looked okay. I think a lot of people said it about Daniel Farke because he's not got, obviously, I don't know if he's ever been able to keep a team up in the Premier League. I can't remember. But
Norwich down twice, I think.
Yeah, but it's also like the fact that before the end of the season, there was all this chat about they were going to take the jump to sack Farke, Leeds, even though he won the title. So I think that's probably why everyone was sort of thinking it. But yeah, like pound for pound, when you look at the money spent on squads, etc., Amorim is the worst manager in the league. He absolutely has to be.
My issues are less with how good a manager he is, because we don't know. We only have a small sample of his time at Lisbon, which was really impressive, but didn't come or wasn't faced with any periods of austerity or lack of form. It was always up. He didn't learn how to train his team out of a funk. So now that he's gone into Manchester United and it's just gone tits up from the off pretty much, it means that he doesn't have the experience to manage this situation. Unless he gets lucky. Now the problem is it's not working. It's not working in a bad way, and he's refusing to change his tactics. And that, as we know, Ben, more than anyone, when you're seeing something fail over and over again, but the manager will just continue to do exactly what you want.
He's worse than Ange. Like Ange, at least, at some points changed his formation. Maybe not the philosophy of all-out attack, but at least changed something. Sometime.
Well, yeah, I mean, on that run to the Europa League final, Ange kind of did exactly that. He did sort of change his philosophy, and we used to have this debate. To now, this is the thing. We kind of
did the players just gone? This is a great chance. Fuck what he said. Sorry.
Maybe, yeah, no, but that's what I was going to say. It's like we're still kind of having this debate internally as to who was the driving force behind that. But
none of us. There are some Spurs fans that are not giving Ange that.
No, but I think, as a Spurs fan, like, you kind of want to give United fans a tap on the shoulder and say, mate, this ain't going to change. Yeah. Like he's just going to kind of keep doing it. And I think the thing with Ange as well that kind of made it frustrating, but also like you had to give him the benefit of the doubt at points, was obviously the injuries that we did have. Like, I guess, but I don't know. I think the thing I find bizarre about Amorim is kind of what you touched on, Joe, and they did a good piece of analysis on it on Match of the Day in terms of like, one, the substitutions that were coming on, about how the fact that like Mount came on, I think was playing at central attacking mid, then got moved over to like he was playing at left wing back by the end of the game or something. Xerxes was like playing it as a 10, then as a number 9, and then like they were making changes in the back line. It feels like you're seeing like a different sort of starting 11 every week from Amorim, with defenders changing roles in that back three as well, like playing at central centre back or right centre back. Like it's kind of switching between De Ligt and Maguire in terms of who plays where. In the front line, he's kind of making rotations. Like that doesn't allow for any sort of consistency to be built. And the mad thing is that the only thing he's not changing is arguably the thing in the system that's their biggest problem, which is the midfield. So none of it makes any sense. And I think when you've got, I thought it was quite damning that Gary Neville, who has been quite a big defender of Ruben Amorim, like he sat there after the derby when they got spanked by City a few weeks ago, kind of saying he ain't got the players and all this kind of stuff. 2 weeks later, Neville was basically asked about it and was like, I think they're losing confidence in him. Like, it's just unacceptable and all this kind of stuff. And it was like, I feel like maybe he was sticking up for him out of the fact that he knows how much knows how much his weight carries, like the weight his voice carries in the kind of media. And I think now you've seen him kind of turn, and Rooney was quite damning in his kind of assessment of it as well, like on his pod, kind of saying that like, I'd love to just go in there myself and kind of shake them all up and go, what are you doing? I'd love to get Roy Keane in there. Like, I've got no faith that he's going to be the guy to turn it around. I think he's a dead man walking. If they lose to Sunderland at home at the weekend before an international break, we know like international break is prime time for sacking managers. I know they might wait until after November because of the compensation, but it's if not when now, and it's surely.
You cannot. Man United. This is Man United we're talking about,
This is Manchester United.
You cannot. They can't be waiting until November so it's cheaper to sack him. This is something you'd have to do if you're about to go into administration. Really think about if your club's in a dire financial situation, then maybe you wait on a failing manager so it's cheaper to sack him. Whatever it is, it's going to be a fortune. It's going to be a fortune. So it just like I don't really think that Amorim is the problem. He's the problem in the short term, but there are much bigger issues at Manchester United than Amorim, and that's Ratcliffe.
They've tried every type of manager, haven't they? They've tried the sort of get results now in Mourinho. They've tried the young up and coming manager in Amorim in the likes of Ten Hag. They've tried the ex-player coming back to the club in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. They've tried
probably the best version, by the way.
Yeah, they've tried every type of manager, and none of it has really worked. I mean, some of them have had some successful spells, but in the weight we hold Manchester United to, they haven't.
Joe, it's almost as if the people that own the football club don't really know what they're doing, and that's that was my point here. Is that it doesn't matter who they get in, the infrastructure around the manager isn't good enough. And if you're a Man United fan, I don't have any sympathy for any Manchester United fan ever. They have seen things that I will never see. Right? So sorry, you're going through a few difficult periods. I could care less, but they must be looking at this situation and going, "We're in trouble." Do you trust Jim Ratcliffe and his cronies to make the right decision the next time?
But also, you can't have one of the worst managers in the league. Like, genuinely, I mean, if you're looking at I was looking at every single manager in the Premier League and like who is objectively a worse manager than Amorim, and maybe Keith Andrews, just because. But even he's had like as good of a start or looked better in his time at Brentford than we've ever seen from Amorim. Like,
also, look at what Andrews is working with. He's lost his two best players in the summer, one of them to Man United, and I think that he's trying to build that stable base to just sort of,
What's your problem with Keith?
I have no problem. But if you're just looking at if you're looking at every manager in the Premier League,
I know what you mean.
Objectively, objectively, the second worst manager in the league. Only Keith Andrews.
No, I don't. I'm not. I'm not even saying Amorim is below him. I mean, you've got Ange in there, who's obviously won silverware, so he's probably above, well above Amorim.
Throwing hate around. You see Joe's face. He's the sort of the loveliest, sort of most polite, sort of nice young man he is, right? And now, but scratch below the surface, and you see the hate there.
Yeah, especially towards Keith Andrews. Was there some sort of?
No, I was just saying.
Just started.
Did he play for Derby? Did he ever do anything to Derby?
He was a set piece coach 6 months ago, lads. That's what I'm saying. He can't be held like as a great manager. Yeah,
well, it says a lot that he's doing better the job than Amorim, doesn't it? If he was a set piece coach 6 months ago, that makes it even more damning.
Who would you rather have, Scott Parker or Ruben Amorim? Their Spurs manager.
That's a good question.
A Spurs manager.
Probably Scott Parker.
Yeah, it's Scott Parker, but I wouldn't be excited about it.
No, exactly.
That's mental, and that's why Manchester United have, if they're the answers to those types of questions, like Manchester United have to sack him immediately.
Well, the fact that we even had to think about that question.
It was a pause. It's just because Parker is just, and it may be what keep Burnley in the league. I think they will go down, but if they have a chance at staying in the league, it's that kind of structure that he created in the Championship that meant that they were so defensively resolute. And then you see the gap and the challenges that a team like Burnley have to face when they bridge the gap between the Championship and the Premier League, in that what was the meanest defence in the league by some margin is now one of the most porous. It's like, I've done everything I can with a limited budget, and yet I'm still shipping goals for fun in terms of Burnley. So interesting,
though, on Man United, they have created the most amount of XG in the in the this season.
There you go.
So there you go.
Yeah, well,
maybe
or a trophy.
You know how who went off on XG?
Martin O'Neill.
Martin O'Neill went off in a big one.
Maybe he was onto something.
I'm less gammon about XG. I quite enjoy it as a metric.
Yeah, so do I.
I don't.
I think
it doesn't mean a great deal, really.
No, I think it says a lot that a lot of these like dinosaurs that come out and moan about it aren't in jobs. at the moment in football. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know why you have I don't really understand why you have an issue with it. But
Well, David Pleat was removed from his place as chief scout at Tottenham because he didn't use a laptop. This was recently. This was like within the last 5 years. I've got the eyes, boy. I've got the eyes.
It's all about the eye test.
So I think
It's all about the eye test.
by conclusion, by the way, lads, I think we have decided that Amorim is the pound for pound worst manager in the league.
All right, he's the worst.
Yeah.
Right.
You sure it isn't Keith Andrews?
He is the worst. He should be sacked. Just on to another manager who's sacked, who's probably the second worst manager in the league, who should never have another job in the Premier League, Graham Potter.
Yeah,
maybe
you were just saying how common it is for a manager to be sacked during the international break, Ben. Not there though. They do it on a Saturday morning, right before the game.
I heard something on Saturday when I was at Spurs. I don't know how true it was, but someone was saying that apparently they said you've got 2 games to kind of save your job. And he just sort of turned around and was like, well, you might as well sack me now if you're going to do that. Like, we're going to give you these 2 games. And I think he was just like, well, you might as well just get rid of me.
Yeah, because winning the next 2 games doesn't do anything anyway.
No.
That means you've lost confidence. Then you should walk, or not walk, but, be sacked.
How much of a part did you think the Graham Potter memes had to play in this?
I mean... if he had any credibility, they were taken away by that.
Yeah. You're like, help me out here. I'm dying here.
And then in the press conference, he's asked about it. That's when you look at it going, is he serious?
He took it like a champ, man. He took it like a champ.
Yeah, fair play, he did.
He's a good human being. He's a nice man. But he isn't a Premier League coach. He shouldn't. There should be no other opportunity for him to manage in the Premier League anymore. And the case in point is like, what? Let me ask you a question, because I was asked this question on another podcast earlier this week. What is his greatest achievement in Premier League? Is it? And I think the answer is it's making a stable, decent
foundation at Brighton. Yeah,
right. Yeah. And that's it.
And then it was similar to what we had with Frank Lampard at Derby. When Frank Lampard got Derby into the top 6, he got the Chelsea job off the back of that, everyone thinking he did brilliantly. But what it was no one realised how good of a squad Derby had. I mean, we had Harry Wilson, Tamori, Mount, all established top-level players now playing in that championship who clinched 6th on like the final day. But because it was a lot of their first seasons, like Mount had only just come out of the academy, been at Vitesse, etc., no one knew how good they were. So at the time, everyone thought it was brilliant. And that was the case with him at that Brighton squad. They thought, this is a mid-level team. This is a relegation team. Look how well he's doing. Because no one knew how good all these Brighton players were when they had him. And then De Zerbi comes in, does even better. And you're like, hold on a minute. He was actually maybe underperforming with this great set of players he had, just no one realised it at the time. So I think it's very similar.
Yeah, they have progressively kind of got better and better, Brighton, haven't they, since he's gone.
Again, in Joe, it's like what I mentioned with Amorim. I know Amorim we've established, and you've really underlined the fact that he's the worst manager in the league. But he's what Potter, De Zerbi, and any Brighton manager who goes in there, what they have is a really well-run football club who will give them room to breathe and don't listen to the noise. Like Potter had a long-winded time at Brighton where he just steadily improved them. But you remember towards the end of his tenureship, he was talking about there was a moment where Brighton booed the team off the pitch, and he said, maybe I'll have to go back and look at the history books because Brighton fans have never had it this good. And you're like, so there is this kind of ego about him as well. But I just think he's. I mean, if he was linked with Spurs and then getting the Spurs job, how would you feel? It'd be terrible.
Yeah, a pit would form in your stomach, I think, wouldn't it? Yeah. Bear in mind. Apparently, he rejected us, didn't he?
Probably.
Like,
Southgate's another one that creates a pit in your stomach for some reason, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, not Southgate. Just quickly, did Mount and Tamori could you see that they were levels above in the championship or not really?
So easily.
Really?
Mount was unbelievable. Our best player got injured for like two. We were like third in the league. Mount got injured for like 2-3 months. We didn't win a game, and then he came back. And the game he came back from injury, he scored a hat-trick. It was like he was so good. Harry Wilson. I mean, we all remember that free kick against Manchester United. He was like you could see he was a cut above. Tomori was one of them that he made mistakes, was raw, but because he was so fast and so strong, like he rectified any mistake he made and just chased the striker down and won the ball easily, and then got a roll from all three of them. You could tell were a cut above, but again, we didn't know just how good we had it. So everyone was like, Lampard, great job, got Derby, clinched sick, got him to that final against Aston Villa, who also had like the Jack Grealish, the Tammy Abraham, the Tyrone Mings, a good team. Yeah. But when you look at when you look at it, clinching sixth in the Championship with that team, it was ultimately a failure. And
he's doing well at Coventry, though, isn't he? Frank Lampard.
He might just be a Championship manager.
Could well be,
but he did do all right at Chelsea, though, didn't he? Like that first season, he got them Champions League, didn't he?
Yeah, I think it was weird that because he with a transfer ban as well. I think that was pure driven on pure vibes and pure aura of just.
And he knows the young players, and you forget how good those clutch of young players that Chelsea have. It's ridiculous what came out of that period of Chelsea. I mean, where they went.
Yeah, Mount step up from the Championship to the Premier League. He was class. Like he was really, really good.
But you think like the amount of players that they had at their disposal. Chelsea's academy is ridiculous, or it has been in recent terms. Can you win at the club? Can you win at club without using Arsenal players this season?
If so, I don't want to play him. If not, I don't want to play anymore.
Well, I reject every single one I'm given. Obviously, I don't want to win that way. I cannot watch Arsenal and hope one of their players score, which is one of my major bugbears with FPL is you suddenly have a vested interest in the betterment of teams you don't support, specifically your rivals. So I don't have to have that conflict of interest. I just don't reject any of them. I've been given. I've got Zubimendi quite a fair bit from Manny. Gokeres I had once, packed once. All gone. Not interested. Can I win without them?
Yeah. Well, saying that, again, if you look at the team of the week, if you check out on the club socials, if you look at the team of the week again.
What is it?
It's all calls again. There's like 6-7 calls like in that team. And it's just like, at what point is Manny actually trying to do us a favour by keep offering? I mean, we just keep seeing greens and automatically press reject him, but it's so funny because like the amount of times these calls just come through and score like big points. I mean, obviously the Sunderland boys obviously doing well, Roofs and that old dirt, but Mateus Nunes, Longstaff, Buendia, Igor Thiago. I mean, there's literally only 3 players above a rare, which was Gabriel Rice, and so that doesn't help your cause about Arsenal Haaland. Players and Haaland, obviously the mammoth point scorer. But again, the thing with our game, it's just so, and as with football, it's just so unpredictable. You can think you've got the best team because you've got all these orange and multicolored players, and like you've got a sick team, but then the cause will just do you in.
Buendia is a good shout if you can get him. He's currently rated 77, but I have it on good authority from Aston Villa that Unai Emery rates him highly.
Yeah, especially with Rodgers kind of underperforming at the moment as well. He probably might get a little bit more game time.
What's 77 rating? How's that about $800,000 a week, something like that?
Yeah, it's so beneficial to. I know it. The strategy in our game is to just get loads of cores, loads of rares, because then you can pick and choose when they have the good fixtures and play them, and you can have loads of players without it eating your salary cap. But there's something in your head that sees that high rating, that sees that purple, that orange, that you go, yes, I want him. And you have a bare squad of 11 that when they don't have good fixtures, you don't score a lot of team, and you get players like Bruno Fernandes, who's an 86 rating, scoring -5 points, and you lose your game week.
You can't. When you get an orange, you can't not. I can't. I can't not put them in.
The temptation's too much.
Saka?
Too much.
Saka?
Not Saka. I got offered Saka as well.
Reject.
Of course, reject, mate. I'm not joking here, mate. I'm serious with this.
To be fair, I reckon even if you were putting Arsenal players in, if Gyökeres comes up, you're rejecting him, aren't you?
Yeah.
Bit stinky at the weekend.
Stinking the place out. Talking about stinking the place out. We did it, boys. We did it. Florian Wirtz, 007. We did it.
Yes.
Come on.
007 is one of the best / worst things to happen to like English football meme culture in a long time, because if it's one of your players, you just haven't got to grin and bear it. But it's very funny when it happens to somebody.
I haven't. I'm relatively new to this.
What, 007?
Yeah. How long has it been running? Because I'm
I was going to say, Joe, I think it was Sancho at Man United, yeah.
And
007.
Flav now loves it, and he's so locked in.
I hate watching
So
adverts. I'm just like, now, I mean, like, what else can we do? How can we compound this and make him feel worse?
By the way, Javi Simmons avoided 007 on his Premier League debut.
Result. Although I sent a message to Joe. I was confident I was going to have my first 200-point game week. And
what did you end on?
88.
Ooh.
That's a terrible score. But because I packed my team full of Spurs, we're playing Wolves, obviously that's not going to be a problem, is it?
Flav, you as a Spurs fan, you should know better than anybody.
I do know it. I do know, but I don't learn.
Well, he wasn't the only one. The two of the three most loaned players ahead of the game week were Pedro Porro and Xavi Simmons. Right. Pedro Porro didn't even start. Obviously, Xavi Simmons didn't do amazingly either. A lot of COs got shafted this weekend because of Spurs. So well done, boys.
That's what we do. We're the kings of screwing everybody over.
Yeah, now you know how it feels.
Yeah, exactly. If we're going to be miserable, everyone else has to be miserable.
Yeah, exactly.
Just take club with you.
Yeah, indeed. New manager that's coming in, Nuno Espirito Santo. Makes complete sense. You know that West Ham are going to stay up now. He's going to get them organised. But in terms of club, if you're thinking about Nuno's style and what he got out of that Forest side, and that and the centre back pairing, is it Milenkovic and Murillo? They were just imperious last season, and I'm thinking you're looking at the West Ham back line. Tadibo will come back in. Wan-Bissaka will start picking up clean sheets. There's suddenly points to be had at West Ham, whereas previously you're like, you don't touch them with a barge pole.
There is one player that I'm looking at for club in that West Ham team. Malik Diouf. That kid is unbelievable. He's only 20. Can you believe that? Like, he is, especially with the fact that like last season, I thought West Ham were pretty good last night. Much better performance than what we've seen under Potter, although it didn't take that much. But he was the standout. I thought Somerville was good. Bowen obviously took his goal really well, but Diouf, like, is so versatile, can play anywhere down that left-hand side, left wing, left back, left wing back. Like, it was like watching prime like Gareth Bale for that equalising goal.
Yeah, that second half, just in general, that second 45 minutes of that game, like Bale vibes.
Yeah, like I'm just gonna. I might not beat you with skill, but I'm just gonna kick the ball really far down the line. I'm gonna chase after it, and you're not gonna be able to get me. And it's like I think when you think about how I'm not saying he's definitely gonna do the same thing at Forest, but at West Ham as he would at Forest, but you'd imagine he will. Forest were very good when they kind of sat back and soaked up pressure and hit teams on the counter attack. To have a weapon like Diouf in a counter attacking system is frightening. He's already got the most assists by a defender in the Premier League, I think, so far. Is it 3 assists?
Yeah.
He is so good. His delivery as well. Like, there's not many players in the Premier League, I think, that have got as good a blend of like athleticism and technical quality that he's got. Like, it's frightening. His crossing technique is so good. Very good ball striker. His pace is unbelievable. Like, he will be a massive asset to West Ham, I think, especially in a counter-attack system.
A lot of people talk about Nuno making centre-backs better, making defence better. If you actually look at Nuno and his teams in the past, full-backs, he knows how to get... Even at Wolves, remember when Matt Doherty was like one of the best attacking outlets? Like, under Nuno, Matt Doherty became like a cheat code.
Yeah, we had our pants pulled down. We remember that than you do.
At Forest, Nico Williams transformed under him, particularly Aina, even more so. Aina became one of the best right backs in the league. Nuno knows how to get his fullbacks clearly performing well and get the most out of them.
Really strong fullbacks there. Like Wan-Bissaka, I rate him. I rate him highly.
So Diouf and Wan-Bissaka now definitely for club, but also just to watch out for in the Premier League from now till the end of the season, because Nuno clearly knows how to get the most out of his fullbacks and get them.
How much is Diouf? Do you know?
He'll be 1 million because he's 79 rated. So a measly little cheap 1 million salary, 79 rated. Possibly, remember though, the international break is coming, which means rating changes happen then. So
but hang on, whoa, let's calm down a little bit. He's only played 6 games. 79 is fine. at the moment.
Okay, just until you get him, and then he can get an upgrade. So
Yeah, Manny's got to pack him for. He's got to pack him for Manny because I don't know, man. Maybe he does know what he's talking about, but
Nuno will be good though. Like you say, it seemed like it was so the obvious appointment, right?
Yeah.
It feels like it's already was just always going to happen.
Yeah, he'll be one that he probably won't be there for like very long. It never tends to last that long with Nuno at teams. Well, certainly hasn't since Wolves, but you'll know that you'll get a much more reliable team that will work really hard. I think that's what West Ham. I was watching a podcast the other day, and they got it bang on in terms of it just feels like West Ham have massively lost themselves, like lost their kind of identity. I feel like so much of their identity was kind of wrapped up in Upton Park, is what the guy was saying. It was spot on. It's like since they've moved to the new stadium, they've had high moments, but I feel like since Moyes went, they've really lost themselves as a side, and there's no real. It's just a lot of the basic stuff. Like you feel like they're not working hard enough for it. They don't want it enough, and I feel like Nuno. There's a lot of talented players there at West Ham, like Juve, Bowen, Somerville. Again, like I said earlier, I thought was really good last night. There is something there. I'm not saying they're going to like. I don't think they'll challenge for Europe in the way that Forest did last season and kind of really turn it around. But I think West Ham fans at least know now they can go to that stadium and feel like they're going to just see a team that wants it and cares and is kind of working hard and is doing the basics well, because that is what they lost for so long, I think, under Potter and then under Lopetegui as well. So I think they should be, I don't think they should be jumping for joy necessarily, but I think they should be pleased with the manager they've got. I like Nuno.
also you got a decent midfielder at West Ham that you can get.
Fernandes is good.
Fernandes is good. Obviously, Paqueta's excellent.
Yeah.
They need.
No, Ward-Prowse has been bombed out already, isn't he?
Yeah, he wasn't even in the squad. I presumed he was injured, but
No, he just came out in the interview before. They asked him, and he just basically like they were. I think they were trying to get out of him what injury, and he just went, "Yeah, I had a chat with him. He's not." He just really quite bluntly just said, "Yeah, I had a chat with him. He's not in anymore."
The same at Forest as well. Like when Ward-Prowse went there, Nuno just didn't play him.
Got beef with Ward. Got beef with Ward-Prowse. Don't
He's
want
just
him coming for the free kick.
doesn't like
free kick
don't like free
record.
kick specialists.
Yeah.
Is it? I mean, now the free kicks have dried up. What else is he kind of just done at this level? Do you think?
Yeah, he might be finished. I saw it was on the Ripple Effect. They did a Would You Rather, and someone asked a question: Would you take a average standard like National League player in your team that had to play every game, but the trade-off was that if you had a free kick from 25, 30 yards out, you knew he was going to score every single time. Like, would you take that? And I feel that's kind of what Ward-Prowse is almost. I'd say his National League is harsh, but like it's kind of Ward-Prowse vibes. If you guarantee a goal from a free kick, basically, would you play him in your midfield? Had to play centre midfield.
Oh, midfield.
If you're Everton, yes, because all you do is get Jack Grealish on the ball, and he'll just dilly dally around the penalty area as he does. And I mean, if you watched it like the game against West Ham, Grealish wins so many. It's ridiculous how many fouls. It's like he's mastered the art of just putting his foot. So if you were that, you definitely would, because you'd guarantee yourself at least a couple of goals.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'd probably leak a few with him in the heart of your midfield as well, National League.
Yeah, it's not bad if you're playing him next to Rodri. If it's Rodri and Steve Clark in midfield or whoever, someone like that, National League. I don't know if we can't think of someone, but I don't know. What do you do? I was going to ask a question about Jack Grealish, because I feel like there's been a lot of since he's been back at Everton, because he's got the most assists in the Premier League, or certainly did up until this weekend. There's been a lot of chat about the fact that he's like Moyes has rediscovered the real Jack Grealish and stuff like that. What do you think of that? Because I feel like that's a narrative that's kind of been a little bit overdone, and you're actually kind of seeing him playing quite a similar way at Everton to how he was playing at City. Just maybe because more goes through him, you're seeing more quality. It was never about the quality at City, really. And I actually think his kind of time at City became a bit too overhated and maybe a slightly bit underrated.
Excuse me. Well, you saw his quote a couple of days ago. He says, "People go. He likes to go out. He likes to party, and I do. I want to be able to enjoy myself. But there's a time and a place, and I'll be honest, I haven't picked the right times. At Man City, I didn't help myself at times. I'll openly say that, but I don't think it was all down to that." So there's been a discipline issue at Manchester City, because his fall off was mental.
I agree, Ben. Like at Man City, like that in that treble season. I mean, everyone always talks about that, but he, like I say, it was just game time. And it's probably because he was professional off the field that Pep didn't rate. But whenever he played, he wasn't and he was never bad. He was never a detriment to the team. It wasn't like an Anthony. He still played quite well. And I see what you mean. At Everton, he's still playing that kind of like he drives with the ball a bit more, but he still just does hold it back, cut it up,
Cut it back.
look to cut it back.
James Garner shot on the edge of the box.
Yeah, look to clip balls in after he's cut it back. Like he's not playing the way. I mean, I don't massively remember him at Villa now, just because it was so long ago. But he definitely was more direct then, and he definitely did take more shots, and he definitely did look to kill one in the far corner more. And I don't think this Everton player is that. I don't think it's the old Jack Grealish we're getting. I think it's like, and when Pep coaches you to do something, if you're a smart player, you probably listen because he probably knows what he's talking about. So he's
absolutely
probably taken what he's learned from City into that Everton team. So he's not playing differently. He's not back to the Villa Grealish. He's, like you say, he's just seeing more of the ball and getting more game time to allow to create more of those chances and get those assists.
Because I feel like some people are kind of acting like he's almost like he's been given the keys at Everton, which is not really what's happened. Like he's got a really nice relationship with Dewsbury Hall. I think that's kind of blossoming, but I'm not seeing that much difference. But then again, for me, like, of course, he was more exciting at Villa, but he never really bothered me that much at City anyway. I never really massively bought into this like whole Pep's ruined him thing. I thought it was also always so overblown with that. Like, yeah.
Fantastic news for club owners of Esteve.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Oh no. There was how many? Go on, tell us, Joe. How many?
348, I think it was.
Which is a tiny amount, to be
fair. Because who is playing him at City away? Like he's owned by a lot more. He's owned by several thousand. Because he can, like Burnley can, if they've got a good home fixture, you can bring him in. But
it's a wonderful effort.
But
couple of great finishes at the weekend.
Yeah, like
wonderful effort.
Minus 25 points is just like it ruins game week. I was doing some real deep diving, and 3 club owners still managed to win with Esteve in their team.
Fair play.
Despite him getting a minus 25 point. It's a horror score.
His reaction to the second known goal absolutely killed me. It was just like hands on their face straight away. Like, oh no! I've done it! Oh no! I've done it again! So funny.
They've had a couple of moments like this, Burnley. Even the Hannibal was the handball against Liverpool.
Yeah.
Oh no, what have I done?
Yeah, Jadon Anthony against Man United pulling Ahmad back in the literally last kick of the game for a penalty.
It's stuff like that makes me like, when you realise you just wouldn't have. No one has. How do these football managers have the temperament not to sort of go into that, like that Hannibal one, after defending so well? How doesn't he just go into the changing room and just like kill him? Like,
my head would be gone. Yeah, my head would be on Mars.
You just have to like have such a level of like, if you don't get interviewed after that as a manager, I'm calling him every name under the sun. He's let the team down. He's ruined what, but they don't, and they have to keep it so like reserved. Like sometimes I don't think managers get quite the credit for how they manage the press as well. Obviously, not all of them do it brilliantly, but yeah.
You have come full circle, haven't you? 1 minute you're hating, you've done a 180 rather.
I don't hate managers, although I would love your guys' opinion on this, because I was having another debate with my friends over the weekend as to whether, and we've talked about the worst, but moving on to the best. My claim was that Mikel Arteta is not in the top 5 managers in the Premier League.
You're out of your mind.
I could name 5 better managers in the Premier League.
You couldn't.
I could get behind this.
I mean, I can get behind it from
but you're wrong.
a hate watch kind of mentality. Yeah, I mean, please enlighten me, but he's not. He's easily in the top 2.
So top 2?
Yes.
Mikel Arteta's top 2 managers in the Prem.
Yeah. What do you? Give me 4 managers better than him.
I think I can give you 6 better managers, and I was doing that.
Please do. Go ahead.
I think Pep, Slot, Glasner, Frank, Iraola, and Howe are all better managers than Mikel Arteta.
I mean, I love it. I absolutely love it, but you are wrong.
Yeah, I think as much as I hate Arsenal, and I do hate Arsenal, like I can't. Glasner, are you just doing that purely based off the fact they've won a couple? Like, one because you could say that Ange is a better manager than Arteta.
No, he's 18 unbeaten, isn't he? I would.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying Glasner's like that's the only thing, but like Eddie Howe as well. Like I know they've done very impressive jobs.
Eddie Howe.
It can't. Eddie Howe
How
can't be
is a better manager than Arteta? You think?
What are you on it, Joe? I love it, mate. I hope you're right. But Arsenal, in my opinion, are going to win the league this year. And if I believe that now, I believe that then he has to be.
I think Howard already would have won a Premier League with this Arsenal team. If he had been in charge of Arsenal for the past 4 odd years or whatever, I think Howard would.
I'm not sure. I think Arteta.
I'll retweet it, and then you'll see what kind of reaction you get.
Do you think Arteta would have Crystal Palace where they are now, or had done the job?
Yeah, 100%.
Really?
Glasner is a really good manager, and that shouldn't be done to take it away from him. But Arteta, there has to be question marks about him not being able to get Arsenal over the line for sure. And there has been games where he's either overthought something or like not set them up in the right way, or there has been fair accusations about not being brave enough and all this kind of stuff. But he did look at where he picked Arsenal up from and look at where he's taken them to. They've spent a hell of a lot of money on the way, by the way, of course, but I think he's more tactically adaptable and flexible than people maybe give him credit for. And that's actually something that I think Eddie Howe isn't. And I feel like that could be to their detriment a little bit at some point.
Joe is incredulous. You should see his face.
I can't, Flav. I thought I was going to come in here, and I thought you two were going to be so on board with this and back. So you think he's better than? You think he's a better manager than the Slot, Flav?
I think there's a debate.
What is going on?
You'd have to say Slot, I think, right now, just because of the Prem last season, but I think it's a lot closer than people say.
Iraola, you think he's better than Iraola as a manager?
You got to give him time.
What do you mean? Give it? You think?
What is it? And I'm loving this, Joe. I don't know why. I'm with you. I just don't.
No, you're not. You're against me.
Okay, I want to hear the
best manager.
I want to hear the argument for Thomas Frank because I love Thomas Frank, obviously. But why do you think Thomas Frank is a better manager than Arteta?
So
might agree with you.
My whole point is that if you had Mikel Arteta in that Bournemouth team for when Iraola took over, I don't think Arteta gets them as high a place as Iraola, and I don't think he does as well. I think you talk about give him time. Arteta's only ever had a job at Arsenal where he spent all this money and has one of the best teams and has won next to nothing. And I know these other managers haven't.
They are improved because every summer they improve their squad.
But Howe has got almost a better trophy cabinet at Newcastle with a little less spending than Mikel Arteta has at Arsenal with a much better squad.
Maybe.
You've charmed me.
Yeah, you've charmed me. We agree he is the 6th worst manager in the league.
I'd actually say 7th.
I've got him 7th.
I think he's in the top half.
I've got Pep, Slot, Glasner, Frank, Iraola and Howe 6 above him. And I thought I was going to come in here and you two were going to go, yeah.
I agree with you. I just don't... I mean...
You had him second. I
think he probably is the 6th.
Slot is... If I was a Liverpool fan, I think Slot would start to worry me a little bit.
They've been average this season.
Not been great at all. And they have been getting away with it. I was kind of the opinion that they've been getting away with it, but it could easily almost go the other way where they just kind of explode. And it's like, because they had a little bit of kind of patch like this last season where they get a few late winners and whatever, and then it kind of all just clicked together. And I was very much of the opinion that it could go 100% either way. And losing to Palace is not a disgrace, by the way. Like, obviously, as we said, 18 games unbeaten, very good manager. But I think there was a few things in that performance that would worry me a bit. The fullbacks, they were so easy to play against. Like, genuinely, if it wasn't for Alisson, they could have been 5-0 down in that first half. Like, and that's not an exaggeration.
Them, didn't they? They absolutely battered them. Joe, any other managers before we end? Any other managers you want to just throw shade on?
No, I'm all managered out. We've done the worst, we've done the best, and you didn't agree with me about a single one, so I'm done.
Yeah, I wasn't consciously trying to be contrary. I just didn't agree with you.
Yeah, it's cool football.
Yeah, but John Eustace, how do you feel about him?
Good manager and will come good. Rams will be all right.
Rams will be all right. All right, boys, if you want to get anyone listening to this podcast, if they want to get involved in the game that has been mentioned throughout the show, club, then you can click on the What's it called? What
Use the QR code.
QR code.
That's
Top right hand
it.
side on the screen and get involved. Take on Joe, who seems to think he knows what he's doing.
I'm having a rotter at the minute. Anyone can take me on.
I'm really struggling. It's starting to affect my weekend as well because I'm like, the football was dire, and what's compounded is I have to open up club and see that I've been beaten.
Maybe you should get Arsenal players because then if Arsenal do well, you're happy because club have done well, and if Arsenal do poorly, you're happy because Arsenal have done poorly.
What would that make me though?
At what cost?
Yeah, good point. I've won, but what cost? Yeah.
All right then, boys.
Nice one.
Take care. Bye bye.